What's up guys, Ninth Jim here, bringing another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video. Today we're going to be talking about Gastrodon, a really strong Pokemon from Diamond and Pearl, Gen 4. And this Pokemon is really strong for a few reasons. First off, it has an amazing ability called Storm Drain that allows it to soak up any kind of water type attack to anywhere, and then it draws it into this guy, and then you gain special attack one stage, so that's really good for a couple of reasons. First off, Dracovish is rampant in the format, and this is a really good answer to Dracovish. You see a Vicious Rend coming in, and then you switch out one of your Pokemon into Gastrodon. It eats up that attack, and then gains a stage of special attack, and then it's really bulky, and just sits on the field for a little while, recovering and soaking up easy hits. It resists a lot. Water Ground is a really good defensive typing, as it resists a lot of stuff. Really, the only good answer to this Pokemon is Grass, and we kind of mitigate that with a Rindo Berry being able to soak up a super effective Grass type attack. The damage is halved, so that's like a really good way to mitigate that a little bit. It's also, Water Ground is also a pretty good offensive typing. It hits a lot of big threats in the format, stuff like Tyranitar, Excadrill, other things like Charizard it's good against. Water Ground is just really strong right now. It's just strong defensively and offensively, so that's really good. This is the Sun and Moon one. Whoops. Anyway, it still gets the Storm Drain, obviously. That is why we're using this guy. We'll take a look at its stats real quick and then briefly go over a little bit of the move pool. So first off, we look at speed 39. It's pretty low, which is actually pretty good. It makes it so that when Trick Room comes up, this is a very viable out to a lot of Trick Room teams. It can kind of not really care about a lot of things in Trick Room, and it'll go first. And as you'll see on my builds, I made it 0 speed IV and then a nature. Usually that is minus speed, just so that he can go first under Trick Room, and it's not really going to outspeed much anyway. It naturally outspeeds stuff like Torkoal, which is good, but after the 0 speed investment and minus, although that'll most likely be for Torkoal as well, you won't be able to outspeed Torkoal. But you like soak up Torkoal's attacks. Eruption does nothing to you because you're Water Ground. You like completely resist it, so that's good. Into its bulk, it's actually pretty bulky. So we have 111 for HP, 68 defense, and 82 special defense. So the defense isn't super great, but the special defense is actually really good at 82 with 111 HP. So that's like really naturally bulky of a Pokemon, and we like kind of help out the defenses. Since it's only 68, we help out the defense in most of these builds. Actually, just like there's a defensive and an offensive build that I'm gonna go over today, but yeah, we help out that defense a little bit. And then special attack is 92, regular attack is 83, but its move pool is way better for special attack anyway, so we go with 92 for the special attack. So special attack is actually really good at 92. This Pokemon can be offensive if you want it to be offensive, so that's a very good thing as well. We'll go over these moves. It has a lot of good moves. First off, like Recover is really strong. I like that a lot in the defensive build, which is always good. Earth Power is also great for its special attack. Ground typing attack is really good. Rain Dance is interesting, but it can get Max Geyser, and you will actually Dynamax this Pokemon sometimes, because Max Quake, making it even bulkier, is like really useful. Rest is cool, I guess. We're not going to be using it, but it's cool that it has it. Obviously Protect. Icy Wind is interesting that it has that. It'll lower opponent's speeds, but this Pokemon doesn't really care if you lower your opponent's speed. It's not going to be outspeeding anything anyway. So Icy Wind is kind of just in the back pocket for now, but it's still an interesting thing that we have access to on this Pokemon. Sandstorm, Rain Dance, it has access to, which is pretty cool. Weather Ball could be cool, depending on like we're not going to be using that on anything, but I mean, it could be cool. So what else do we have? It has a lot of physical attacks as well. Hydro Pump, if you need to hit certain numbers. I don't think we're not going to be playing Hydro Pump, as Scald is typically better anyway, just because it's higher accuracy. It also hits the it has a chance to burn, which is actually really relevant. Surf, we're not going to be using. Ice Beam is good. We do have that on the offensive build that I'll show you here. Blizzard is also kind of cool. You could run it on potentially like some kind of snow set team, maybe, and hit Blizzard at 100%. That's cool. some more physical type attacks. Amnesia is interesting. Substitute could be interesting as well. I'm not using it, but it's a cool idea. Sludge Wave is cool. Scald, obviously, like we were saying. And I've seen Stockpile. It's an egg move, so if you do want to use Stockpile, you have to think about that a little bit. And Curse is also really interesting. Curse Lax right now is going around, and that's really scary, big threat. And so is the Stockpile on the Gastrodon. I've seen that. It's been pretty strong a couple of times, but I don't use it personally. And then obviously it gets all of these max moves here as well. And sorry about that. Anyway, so first build here is going to be the defensive Gastrodon. We're playing Rindo Berry as our item. Like I said, that makes super effective grass type attacks have damage, which is really good because that is quad against us as we are water ground. Rindo is really good for that. We also are obviously running ability Storm Drain, as that is half of this Pokemon's strongest ability, or like that's half the reason why this Pokemon is so strong. It can just come in, switch in on Dracovish attacks and Gyarados attacks and things like that, and opposing Gastrodons. Just get it really big and then throw out some really powerful Earth powers, or even Scald in certain times. Scald hitting Burn is actually really good as well. We'll go over the moves. So I just said Scald and Earth Power are really good. Special attack, Stab attacks, which is really powerful. Water Ground with a Storm Drain. These are actually doing really good moves. Are actually doing really strong, like high attack. Without any investments into special attacks, so that's pretty interesting. That it's like so big, and I have a couple of damage calcs that I'll go over here in a second. But and then we also have Recover and Protect on this set, just so that we can protect. And then late game, this is honestly going to be the win con on a lot of teams. For certain team matchups. Anytime that you see a Dracovish on your opponent's team, this usually will go in, just because Dracovish is so offensive and so intimidating to teams, especially when you get Tailwind up and going. The Dracovish can just hit so hard and so fast, so it's really good to have Gastrodon on your team if you're susceptible to something like a Dracovish coming in. And Recover is also just very powerful. Once you get late game, you throw off a couple of Max Quakes and you're just not taking any damage ever. You throw out an attack and then you just recover like offset turns, and then you hit Scald Burns, and then you can just Recover Protect until they die. And that's like a really good win con for Gastrodon. I've won a lot of games like with just Gastrodon being the last Pokemon. Like I'll have like Gastrodon 1v2ing or 1v3ing, and then it just is so bulky at the end of the game. Like I'll run it with like Excadrill and then Dynamax Excadrill hitting off Steel Spikes and or like Max Steel Spikes and Max Quakes, and then this guy's just so bulky. And once you get rid of any like grass threat or anything, Protect Recover with Burn is just insane. And then Earth Power and Scald is also just very powerful. And this Pokemon gets really powerful after one Storm Drain. It's actually really powerful. So this Pokemon is great for that. For this set, we invested a bunch into bulk. So we have our HP max at 252, and then also defense is max at 252 since it starts off with 68, which is not an incredible defense. But then it comes out to 132 at the end, which is not bad. So that's good. We also have Relaxed Nature, which is plus defense minus speed. Like I said, you don't need speed, so we have it at 0 IVs and also minus for the nature, just so that we can always go first in Trick Room, or at least usually go first in Trick Room. Obviously, we'll lose out the speed battle against things like Curselax and Torkoal, and other Gastrodons will most likely be the same with 0 investments and negative speed, so we'll usually speed tie, but that's okay. Usually if a Gastrodon, you usually don't want to like put out your Gastrodon very early unless your intention is to demax it and then Earth Power or Max Quake, to just like bulk up on everything on defenses. This can be a really good pairing with something like Snorlax or like Curselax, just making like your Pokemon unbeatable. And that's another really good way to play this guy. So overall, this guy can be an insanely good defensive Pokemon. And that's just for this defensive build. This is the way that I've been playing it, but this other way is pretty popular with the Gastrodon, the offensive version. Obviously still running Storm Drain, because that is most of the reason you play him in the first place, is mostly because of Dracovish and things like Gyarados, and there's a lot of water Pokemon in the meta right now. It's really strong. Rotom-wash is also really good. So typically you'll want to play this on a team with something like an Excadrill or like Charizard, something that like doesn't like water type attacks. So then a water type will come in, and then you just soak up the attack with Storm Drain and don't care, and then just start sweeping. And then we also play the Expert Belt on this one, as it gives you 1.2 times damage on super effective. We didn't want a Life Orb because we didn't want to take up any damage or take any damage at the end of our turn. And then Expert Belt is just a very good option for that as well, making super effective. The spread is really strong. Scald, Ice Beam, Earth Power, and then Protect as well. But Earth Power, Scald being our stab moves of choice, really powerful. Decent damage and a chance to burn the target, which is really good as well. Ice Beam is also just really powerful, mostly against the birds of this format, as you can't really touch them with Earth Power, although hitting a burn off on Corviknight or Braviary or even Togekiss is very powerful. Not really the Togekiss, as it's going to be special attacking, but the Scald is definitely going to be really good against Corviknight and the Braviary, as I was saying, because that just helps a lot with that. You can't really lower their stats because of Mirror Armor and the Defiant, so hitting off a burn is really the only way to like kind of stop their damage output. And then Ice Beam is also just very good against those birds especially. And it's also a little helpful for your grass type weakness, since you're quad weak to grass. Ice Beam helps that a little bit. Ice Beam into things like Ludicolo and Whimsicott and stuff kind of mitigates that weakness a little bit. And then for our investments, we just went max HP and max special attack for this build, and then 4 into defense, as we are like pretty weak into defense. Once again, 0 IV into speed, and for our nature we picked quiet, as it's plus special attack and minus speed, which is pretty useful. That way we can just overpower a lot of things. Here I have some notes. So with our Rindo Berry, we're able to live a Whimsicott, an Energy Ball from a max Whimsicott pretty easily here, only hitting 30 to 35% on the first attack, and then the Rindo Berry is eaten up, and then we'll die to it next turn. But usually you want to answer those Pokemon immediately. Whimsicott is a little less relevant, as Whimsicott usually will start off, and then you kill the Whimsicott and bring in Gastrodon late game. Usually Whimsicott is the only threat to this Pokemon on most teams. There are a couple of other things, however, like something like a Gyarados here. This is without Rindo, and it has a good chance of hitting the Oko, hitting 88 to 104.5% with a max overgrowth, a maxed out attack. Gyarados, this is off of a speed nature as well, so it's only hitting 252 attack instead of 252 plus. If it does have the adamant nature to give it 252 plus attack, then it will most likely be Okoing, and I can actually put that in here real quick. Gyarados, so max power whip, this is with Jolly, so we'll give it adamant, and it is max power whip here is going to be hitting 97.2%, and this is into a 0 defense. So this is actually, we'll make it 252. So it's guaranteed 2 hit KO, and this is with max. So I actually put this in the wrong place. This is 4 defense Gastrodon. So that's going to be, this is actually going to be down here in Attack Boy area, because we won't have, we'll be a little bit more defensive in this one. So with the Rindo, or was that without Rindo? That was without Rindo. So actually with Rindo, let's see. So it's actually doing no damage here, hitting 35.7 to 42% with max defense and bold nature, which is plus defense, and Rindo Berry. So we're able to like live a Gyarados guaranteed with the Rindo. So that's kind of why I talk about Rindo being so powerful, is it can help you live like so well. So here we also have Ludicolo, an Energy Ball, a 252 plus special attack Life Orb, where the plus is in Modest. So this is a max invested Life Orb, Modest, Ludicolo, Energy Ball into our 244 HP, 0 special defense, as we don't put any, but Rindo Berry, and we're going to be hitting 46. They're going to be hitting 46 to 55%, a guaranteed 2 hit KO, as the this is only going to be for the first attack. So that's also a very interesting thing here. Ludicolo into this, and I guess that's it. Why did I put that down twice? Oh, this is without Rindo. So without Rindo, a Ludicolo will be hitting 62%, or a 62.5% chance to OHKO. So that's also another thing that you will want to keep in mind. With Rindo, you're guaranteed to live a Ludicolo attack into it, and without Rindo, you have a chance of dying to an OHKO for it as well. And also Overgrowth, max Overgrowth with an uninvested defense Gastrodon will be having a chance to KO to OHKO. So that's another good thing to know. Anyway, here for after our Storm Drain, and this is with a 0 special defense, or a 0 special attack, I guess 68. That's a weird calc, but +1 68 special attack Gastrodon has a guaranteed OHKO into the Excadrill. And this is without any max Quakes buffing their special defense here. And then Tyranitar in Sand is a guaranteed 2-hit KO with Earth Power with +1 68 special attack. If we do 0 special attack here into an Excadrill, Earth Power will not be a guaranteed OHKO, but after the Storm Drain we go up to +1, and then it's a guaranteed OHKO even without with 0 investments into this Pokemon. So after we have a guaranteed OHKO into an Excadrill that's uninvested into defense. So that's a very important thing. After Storm Drain, this Pokemon actually can dish out some really good damage, which is really cool. So then we'll look at a couple for the Attack Boy. This is the one with the max special attack and Expert Belt. So 252 special attack, Expert Belt, Gastrodon Earth Power into an Excadrill is a guaranteed OHKO. So this is max invested into that, with Expert Belt being able to guaranteed OHKO the Excadrill, which is really good as well. And then after Storm Drain, you're able to OHKO Weezing with max special defense, and they usually won't even be using much special defense, so that's guaranteed OHKO into the Weezing. And this is the Galarian Weezing, so, and usually they're going to be using the negating ability, neutralizing gas, and that's going to turn off Storm Drain. But if Storm Drain already activated like early game and then they switch in Weezing, then you're guaranteed to OHKO the Weezing with the Attack Boy. Those are the only calcs I have for that guy right now, as I typically don't use that. I use the support one with the Protect Recover. I like that set a little bit more, but it's really powerful. And then some partners with this. So I mentioned Excadrill being a good partner, as it does cover its own water weakness, and it also covers its fire weakness. It's just a great Pokemon in general against everything that Excadrill doesn't like. So that's always a very good thing. Good Pokemon that is against is the Dracovish and Gyarados. Like I said, rotom-wash. And all Rain Team Pokemon, all of them it soaks up their water type attack and is just so good for that. Other Pokemon that is really good with is stuff like Bronzong for Trick Room. Just Trick Room teams in general are really cool with adding Gastrodon onto their team, as they can stop weaknesses like random weaknesses with water and stuff. So like especially with Torkoal Trick Room teams, it's not a bad idea to throw Gastrodon on, as it can protect your Torkoal and also just dish out really good damage. Under Trick Room, it's going to be super slow if you give it the 0 speed IVs and also 0 investment, and then minus as on nature, so that's a really good thing to keep in mind. Pokemon to look out for is Whimsicott, things like Gyarados running a Power Whip on their team. Max Overgrowth is really, really powerful. That's why we like the Rindo Berry. There are other random grass Pokemon that will see potential play, stuff like Serena. I played against a Leafeon. I'll put that match up eventually. It was a match, a best of 3 match that I had, and Leafeon gave my Gastrodons a couple of problems, but we ended up getting out of it. Rindo Berry, and then getting so bulky that we didn't even care about the attack after the Rindo Berry, and we were able to just recover and then win through that with just Gastrodon. I think we had Scrafty as well. But yeah, that's going to be just about it for this video. Overall, this Pokemon is just a really good bulky Pokemon. This was a long video. I think we're about to hit the 20-minute mark. So if you actually stuck around, thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and like and subscribe, as well as going down in the comment section below and saying any kind of Pokemon you want to see in builds for the future and future videos. I'd love to hear what you guys want to see. So yeah, thank you for watching.